Good morning. Day 5. This is my desperate campsite situation here at the War Creek Trailhead. Yep, I'm right next to the trailhead. Pretty good example of desperate camping, not necessarily right on the side of the road or completely in the bushes, but overall did the job last night. Slept not well. It's just very uncertain about where I am and some safety and all that kind of stuff, but no bears got to my stuff, no critters got to my stuff, which is really exciting because I wasn't able to secure it as much as I would have liked in this sort of campsite situation. But day 5, this is a big day for me. Why? Well, is it my birthday? No. But today is the longest day I've ever been in the bushes. Wow. Leave no trace confetti. Super exciting. Oh, yes, I'm doing it, and all that stuff. So I'm really glad I took a couple extra miles last night, because today I only have around 6.5 or 7 or so. There is about 4,000 feet of elevation gain through all of that. And I know it doesn't really sound like a whole lot, but I'm tired. It's day 5. Body is doing fine, but it's getting tired. Feet are getting tired, and I just want to get up this ridge and get there. It's so funny because I have like a whole nother day tomorrow for day 6 with 8 miles going downhill, and it's funny because I'm like not even really thinking that's going to be a big deal, mainly because it's the last day. There's a lot of energy with getting done. I've got the Stehekin Lodge to look forward to with a beer and a bed. So it's funny where if I can get through this, I'm pretty much done, except I'm not really done. It was actually really warm last night too. I was very, very shocked. It was actually too hot last night. But time to cook up some coffee, get some breakfast, and get rolling this morning. Finishing at Juanita Lakes for tonight. While my coffee is cooking up, I want to show you what's left in the solo meal plan here. Just for general reference, it's also a good check-in to see what I have left and what I possibly could eat. So I do have a good amount of beef jerky. I've got about one more meal worth of Jiffy, so I could easily make some more grits. Teeny bit of oil left. What I already did last night is prepped up my lunch for today. So the last of the bagels, the last of some summer sausage. Also going to throw in a Lanyangr. If you haven't had these before, these are quite possibly the best snack ever. I do have some bacon, which was a surprise, so that's something. Maybe I'll have that for dinner or something. Another carnation packet, ramen, so this will be dinner. And then I do have maybe like a half small portion of stuffing. So it's nice to know I've got a little bit left. For breakfast this morning, I'm really not that hungry right now. That chili cornbread bowl really filled me up last night. It was super tasty. So I'm just going to go for a bar, carnation breakfast, and some roasted edamame. These actually fill you up pretty well. And if you have been following along this whole time, this is the first bar I'm going to eat on the whole trip, besides the Nature Valley ones that turned into granola. And to me, that's pretty shocking. Like, I haven't eaten one bar for 4 or 5 days. That's a huge win. I've been eating really well. A couple other things I do have in here. Just some electrolyte tabs, a couple extra seasonings, another meat stick, which I'll probably have tomorrow, my coffee, and some pudding. So, that's exciting. Still have pudding. So we're definitely getting through the meal plan. And not a whole lot of weight left, not a whole lot of volume as well. But it's proven to be pretty dialed in. We'll do this again right at the end to see what's left. But I've been eating really well. My belly has definitely been very happy this whole trip thus far. But good to see what's left, and let's go up this ridge. Also, something to note for all this, so our cheese is gone. It's starting to turn a little bit last night, so I made sure to eat that up. Summer sausage is just about gone. Apples, bananas, avocado is gone, and our broccoli, carrots, peas, tomatoes, peppers, those fresh ingredients are gone, although they probably could have lasted 2 more days depending on some outside temperature and that type of thing. So we're definitely getting through the old food stash. And the last thing I want to show you this morning is my pack out bag. Said it a couple times already, but really important to pack out your stuff. So this is what it looks like right now. We've got all the packages and wrappers from meals of the past, but this isn't really that heavy, but really, really important to have a pack out bag along with you. If you are able to throw this away along your journey, that's helpful. But if you are going full backcountry mode, this is going to go with you until the very, very end. Hike along the War Creek Trail. This is an amazing trail run if you're into that. Yesterday, as I was walking along a long Forest Service road, had a realization about food, that if any of you guys out there who have hiked along a boring trail or a Forest Service road for multiple miles, it gets super, super boring. But my realization about food is that if you are just eating bars, just eating packaged meals, it's like you're on a Forest Service road for meals and meals and meals, or miles and miles and miles. It's just not that interesting. It totally gets the job done. You can totally do it, but it's just not that interesting. But with cooking and packing along some fresh ingredients and cooking fast, quick, easy meals along the way, it's like you're on an interesting hike. It's like you're seeing the river, seeing the peak, you're getting to the top of something, getting to the bottom of something, whatever. But it's interesting, and it keeps your palate interested rather than being bored the whole time. I would much rather go on interesting trails. I'd much rather have a more interesting meal plan than be going on a Forest Service road with Schmountain House, stroganoff 3 nights in a row. It's not even really that healthy for you. Yeah, it's going to give you calories, but what kind of calories are those? Really not that great and really not that interesting. So consider packing along just a couple fresh ingredients or a couple different spice mixes just to change up the flavor. It's going to go a long way to keep your body happy, your belly happy, your mind happy, and just engage for the whole trip. All right, I got to get moving. Time for a break. We've got quick trailside lunch. That does sound good. Quick trailside lunch so we can keep moving and eating the last of some of the food we've got. We've got a little bit of summer sausage. We've got the last of our bread. We've got a couple jam packets, which is a great weasel ingredient you can find. Also could do jam and nut butter and peanut butter, sure, of course. And then we've got the Lanyangr. And if you think this looks like a Slim Jim, you're right. I will tell you though, it does not taste like a Slim Jim. Slim Jims and pepperoni sticks from the gas station are pretty terrible. They're bad going in, bad in your belly, and bad going out. But these guys from Bavarian Meats, they're actually based in Seattle, make a excellent meat stick that's made with better ingredients, super tasty. And as far as calories go, it's 400 calories for these two, and also fat grams, 32 grams of fat. So that is some really great trail energy. If you've never had a Landjaeger before, give those a try. These are my favorite. Second best is Owens Meats in Ellensburg, Washington. But check out our equipment and food page at montyboca.com. We've got a link that you can order those. They are super good. Highly, highly recommend that. It's been an interesting, about half the day. Mostly going through a whole lot of burn of different levels. Some just probably last year, some maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago. But we're getting closer to the ridge up there, but definitely need a little bit of a break. Also, something to note, if you are doing this this War Creek trail, is yes, there is the War Creek, but it's usually around 30 or 40 yards away. So yeah, you can get to it, and sometimes it jogs a little bit closer to the trail, but it's definitely not a whole lot of river crossings. This is the first real easy river option, water option that I've crossed, and I'm about 6 miles in. So something to note. Also something to note, I misjudged the mileage on this. It's probably around 8 or 9. One map said 6.5, another trip report said more, and the latter is probably right. But nevertheless, getting through it. Well, I am really glad that I did so many miles yesterday, because this is a little tougher than I was expecting. A few more miles than I was expecting at the beginning of the day, but I was looking back at some of my other research, and this is totally spot on. I'm about 5,600 feet, a little over 1,000 left, a little over a mile left. But why this is so hard is that right around 6, 7, bunch of tree fall, probably 2 to 3 dozen, if not more, trees you had to climb over and navigate around, which it just takes way more energy to go over and around rather than just straight through. Just got to keep on going. Almost there. Almost there. Finishing off with some larches. All that work. The overs, the unders, the arounds, it keeps on goings. Leads us to 6,800 feet. Wow. And that's the final destination for tonight, Juanita Lake. Awesome. Chef Corso, Monty Boca. I'm here at 6,800 feet in the Lake Chelan National Recreational Area, just outside of the North Cascades National Park. And I'm on the last night of a 5-night, 6-day solo tour of the North Cascades National Park. And I just made this bacon beef ramen. Looks a little bit like this. But stay tuned. I'm going to show you how to make it. Tent Tour 2020. Truly an exciting time here. Well, I'm here in my MSR hubba, one person. Oh, yep, that's my feet. Not a ton of space, but there is a little bit of wiggle room. What I do love about this tent is the vestibule, or what I like to call the breezeway. If you're in the market for a new tent, I highly recommend getting one with this because it really extends a footprint. So you can put your shoes out here. If it gets really rainy, you can put your bag here. Everything's covered. Also, in a pinch, if you are waiting out a storm, you can cook under here, so you have a little bit of extra space. I've got a Thermarest inflatable pad and actually a Thermarest Oberon 0 degree. It's been super toasty. Really liking it so far. And hot, sleepy, campy camp tip. If you do pack a pillow, good for you. You can have the little inflatable ones or the small compressible ones, or you can just use, this is my clothes sack, and put it underneath your pad, and you have a quick little pillow, and it totally does the job. Just hope your socks don't smell super terrible, but that's you. Really awesome tent. Been killing it so far on this trip. But that's Chef Corso's Casa here on the solo tour. So, nighty night. Good morning. It's the last day, day 6, here at Juanita Lake. And wow, I can't believe I'm here. Every trip has a last day. You don't know how you're gonna feel when you get here. I'm feeling good. I know I have 8 miles left going down. For me, going down is way better than going up. I've had a couple Achilles surgeries, so up is a challenge for me, down is a breeze. So I know I can do it, but there's still miles ahead. One thing that nobody really talks about for outdoorsy outdoor stuff is the struggle is real. There's some tough parts about every trip. Your body gets tired. There's uncertainty at certain parts, but it's all worth it when you can have morning coffee, looking at this. And one of my favorite things is watching the sun wake up a valley. And I didn't know this place existed. Just a few weeks ago, I didn't know it looked like this, but it's pretty beautiful, and to be able to enjoy that on the last day and cheers this trip is pretty fantastic. But also, one thing to note on that is if you are planning a trip coming up, maybe dial back the miles a little bit, maybe spend a little bit more time, and that way you can have a few more minutes to enjoy something like this rather than rushing through it all. So for some technical things this morning, we're eventually going to drop down from 66, 68 to about 1,000, 1,500. So we've got something to drop. And from a meal planning food perspective, let's check where we're at here. So one of the purposes of this trip was to test this new meal plan and some new recipes. So I've been going through these recipes. We've got grain bowl, shopping list for meat, cheese, bread, our noodles, stuffing bowl, meat, potatoes, and gravy. And overall, I think this worked. I have some tweaking to do as far as writing the recipes and the formatting, so this isn't quite ready for you yet, but stay tuned as I do a little bit more workshop and a little bit more work on this. But as far as what's left, and there's not a whole lot. For breakfast this morning, I'm going super light again because I know that there's food down there and I'm gonna go get it. But I've got meat bar and a couple random peanut M&Ms that I found. That's exciting. Nice little treat this morning. But this is kind of the spice pack here. So I've got some spices. Drank all my coffee, so I rationed that appropriately, and a little bit of pudding, and a couple carnations left. I've got some beef jerky, a little bit of cornmeal grits, and about a little bit of a portion of stuffing. So technically speaking, I could probably go one more full day, but that would be cutting it pretty close. If I had a couple more bars or a couple more things, I could probably last into day 7, but that's cutting it pretty close. It's always nice to have a little bit of extra just in case something happens. But overall, I think this meal plan worked pretty well for the amount of food. I was never starving. I ate really well. Flavors changed up a whole bunch, different textures, different styles of food. And then here's my pack out bag with all of my plastic, condiment packets, all that stuff. But that's what's left, and kind of interesting to see from when we started in the parking lot in Darrington, seeing what that looks like, feeling like, oh my gosh, there's no way I'm going to be able to eat it all, or it's just way too much food. But seeing what we got here at the end, it's pretty close. So that makes me feel good. I'm going to enjoy just a few more minutes here, soak it all in for the last few miles of this trip. But full report at the bottom. But thanks for coming along. It's been fun to share this with you, and stay tuned for more recipes and more meal plans as I get back to life and do some editing and do some more workshopping. Other thing to note on any trip outdoors, but especially one this long, is at this point everything's dirty. Like everything. I've worn t-shirts for 2 or 3 days. I've got scuffs and dirt, and my fingernails are pretty terrible. But that's kind of part of it. I know I don't look great. I know I don't smell great, but it doesn't really matter. I've got one more day left at a shower, just a few hours away. But that's part of it. You're gonna get dirty, you're gonna get sweaty, you're gonna get stinky, but it's all gonna be okay because you will be clean again. Top of Purple Pass, and there's Lake Chelan. Wow. Pretty gorgeous. Whole lot of drop to be had. Onward. This Purple Pass trail, it drops quick. I do not envy any of you who have to go up this, because it is a consistent climb for 8-ish miles, and as is tradition, the last quarter to a half a mile are really steep, bunch of switchbacks, but it's pretty consistent for any pass or peak trail. But we are dropping quick. Temperature is increasing quickly as well as we're dropping elevation. Some nice consistent views of Lake Chelan. It's getting bigger as we get closer. Is this the end? Don't tease me, trail. He's almost out of water. He's almost out of food. But Chef Corso could be almost done with Corso Solo 2. I sure hope so. 57 miles, 6 days, 5 nights, bunch of meals, bunch of snacks. This looks extremely promising. The lodge at Stehekin. A few more steps. I'm not dead. I didn't break an ankle. Didn't rupture anything. Didn't strain anything. I'm safe. That's huge. Can't believe it, but I can believe it. Yes. Fucking done. 57 miles. Doable amount, but that's still a lot. Time for a beer. Yes. Well, it's all done. I'm here in Stehekin, way northern part of Lake Chelan, kind of in the middle of Washington if you're not really sure where that is. And I've had a beer, I've had some lunch at the lodge, I've had a shower, had a little nap in a real bed, and oh my God, like I've only been here for a couple hours, but it feels amazing. Body is definitely tired, but oh my God, it feels so good to get clean, get rested, get a little snack. And so much research for this trip. A lot of people are like, you gotta stop at Stehekin, 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 Stehekin. And at first I'm like, okay, I've never been there. I don't know what's so great about it, but I get it now. Man, it is a delight, and especially this time of year. It is first week in October, beautiful fall. We've got breezes blowing everywhere, leaves flying, and it's an absolute delight. And it looks a little bit like this. Yeah, that's pretty. The other thing about Stehekin that makes it extra special is that you have to take a ferry here. So you can't just stop off here and there. You have to take a ferry, and Lake Chelan is quite long. And so that ferry takes anywhere from 2.5 to 4 hours to get from Chelan City all the way up to Stehekin, or you need to drop in from the north, but that means you have to hike a couple days. A whole bunch of PCTers have done that. It's a really great spot for them as one of their last breaks. Totally get it. Totally recommend that for them. If you need a break before the final push, come to Stehekin. Especially, I'm guessing you're coming through about this time of year, maybe in the September, October time, and it's gonna be delightful. It's gonna be awesome. If you've never been to the North Cascades National Park, please put it on your list. I call it the Forgotten National Park. Washington has Rainier and Olympic, and both are absolutely phenomenal. But the third big one is North Cascades National Park, just north of Seattle by a couple hours. But then hooked on to North Cascades is the Lake Chelan recreational area, Okanagan, Sawtooth, a whole bunch of other stuff that's all kind of connected. Go ahead and check a big map, look on Google Maps or whatever maps you like. There is a bunch, and there's a bunch of trails, bunch of backcountry stuff, bunch of front country stuff that's all just really fun to explore. If you're looking for any recipes for any of your backpacking, camping, any sort of outdoor trips, we have over 160 trail tested recipes on our website right now, montyboca.com, where we also have 2 handy cookbooks available, 20 recipes each, available right now, printed, and it fits right in your pocket. Super handy, great stocking stuffer, Christmas gift. Also for recipes and meal plan, let me know if you want me to test something. If you think an ingredient is interesting and you either love it or hate it and you want me to try it, go ahead and throw a comment because I'd love to try it too. So let me know what you think is interesting and let me know what you're curious about. We're just going to do a little recap on the trip because we put so much planning into this, so much preparation, so much worry, so much thought, and we're going to see if any of that worked at all. Ways to have a better time next time, things not to do next time. If you want to hear more about my other solo trip last year through the Olympic National Park, go ahead and hit up montyboca.com or check out the show notes below if you're watching on YouTube. Because that was a whole different experience, whole different trail, whole different time. Another thing I want to note here is I'm not special, I am not the first person to ever go walk by myself in the woods for multiple days. And frankly, many of you have done it longer than I just have. But the thing about it is, this is my experience, this is my time to go be by myself, clear my head, enjoy whatever I'm going to enjoy, and I had an absolutely awesome time. There were challenges along the way, but I had an absolute delightful time. And I don't feel like I had this huge epiphany when I was sitting by a river or hanging out in the woods on day 2 or 3 that I'm going to go write the next novel or anything like that, but I just feel good. I feel lucky to be able to have time to go do this. I feel tired, but I also feel very settled and really nice that I had this time to go walk around, see some new pretty places, and really enjoy myself. But the main things that I've taken away from this trip is that I'm not broken. My body isn't completely dead. My mind isn't completely shattered. I can still walk some. And I think there's 3 main reasons for that. Is 1, miles per day. I didn't go crush 15, 20 miles every single day. Yes, I can probably do that, but it's going to take a long time. I'm not going to get a ton of sleep, and I'm going to be continually moving, and I'm never going to be able to enjoy where I'm at. So I'm really happy that I took the 8 to 10-ish miles per day so I could really enjoy where I was. 2, the route was really interesting. It changed every day. Sure, I did stay by a couple rivers, but it changed and it was different. And that was really nice. Nice change up from the leaves to the plants, to the ridges, to the ups and the downs. It really kept me engaged through this whole thing to make me want to keep going to the next day. Meal plan. Well, we put a lot of emphasis on this meal plan, and it was a big test to see if I could carry enough food for myself for 6 days, 5 nights, and overall it was a success. I've got some more work to do to tweak a few of the recipes so they're a little bit easier for you guys to use, but overall they worked. But the thing to remember here is all of the ingredients were purchased at a small town grocery store in Darrington, Washington, and packed in the back of my car. So very minimal prep time, no huge amounts of time dehydrating in your house. So you can just go to the store, pack it up, and cook pretty darn tasty meals the whole way. Could I have used a couple different ingredients? Could I have used tortillas instead of bagels? Sure. Could I use dried apples instead of a fresh apple? Sure. But I wanted to try this specific plan. I have future plans that I want to try with some other pantry ingredients to see if those can work as well. But for this specific time, in this specific week, this is what I wanted to try. And overall, they worked. You don't have to go out for 5 nights like I did, but if you're curious about this kind of thing, going on a group trip is delightful, fantastic. I love those as well. But go on a day hike by yourself and then maybe build up to going on a one-nighter and just leaving work a little bit early, taking the stuff and go to a local campground or go to a quick local hike and go on a one-nighter. See how that feels. because everything's going to be okay. You'll be able to come back to everything that you love tomorrow and slowly build up if this seems interesting to you. And if you have any questions on this, please shoot me an email, shoot me a comment. I'd love to help you plan for this trip or any other trip, because as we went over in part 1, there is a lot. Check out our equipment and food suggestion page on our website as well. We've got a lot of resources for you about food, about trip reports, about a whole bunch of outdoor stuff. But wait, there's more. What? There's more? You've been talking to me for 6 days. There can't be more. Yeah, there's more. So I'm in Stehekin. I'm taking a nice chill day here, but part of this trip is logistics, and the logistics of getting home is the ferry that I mentioned. And so the ferry doesn't leave till 12:30 tomorrow. So I've got a nice chill time here in Stehekin, but tomorrow for breakfast, I'm gonna stop at the very famous Stehekin Bakery. And I'm really excited about what that holds. But if you wanna watch me eat a muffin and take a beautiful ferry ride tomorrow, stick around. But if not, just get outside, eat well, and share the experience with somebody, because it's really fun to get outside. But boca boca. Yes, good morning. Well, I know I promised you a muffin, but the other options looked a little bit better. And their case is full of like just about everything you could want for breakfast. Also have some savory things, some quiches. But I went sweet this morning. So I've got it's also just about the end of the blackberry season here in the Northwest. So I went hard blackberry. My main thing that I got here is blackberry pie. And if you're thinking, oh, you can't have pie for breakfast, Chef Corso says you can have pie for breakfast. Yes. Hell yes. Oh, that is so good. Really nice flaky crust. Why I say you can have pie for breakfast is pie dough is just about the same as Danish dough, pastry dough, biscuit dough, all this stuff. It's butter, fat, flour mixed together in certain layers. And if you can have Lucky Charms with marshmallows for breakfast, you can have a piece of pie for breakfast. And I'm eating it underneath a big leaf maple tree in the middle of fall. Absolutely awesome. Oh God, that is so good. Other things I got, hell of a scone here. Also went with blackberry. Nice. Little cinnamon, heavy cinnamon sugar top. That's really good. Dump that a little coffee. Yeah, that's what you want right there. So I can only imagine if you're a PCT thru hiker, the road you're coming off of is right up there, just a couple miles. And if you figure I'm a ride or be able to walk down here, after multiple days on the trail, this place is freaking Shangri-La to you. So the last thing I got here is an old-fashioned oat cake. It's pretty heavy. Hey, bud. Looks like we've got some toasted coconut on top. Holy crap. Dude, it is like carrot, nut, coconut, brown sugar bomb. Man, I need like 2 bites of this. Else I'm gonna die a little bit. God, wow, it's really, really good. Well, whatever kind of breakfast pastry you like, they probably got it here. Absolutely delicious. I love that this place is here because it's pretty much at the end of the road in sort of the middle of nowhere.
How is it?
Super awesome.
I know, right? I'm like, we need to bike here so that we can.
There's yeah, first time here, and it's just like, yeah,
Right? I know.
there's just so many delicious, tasty options.
I've never been here either.
Yeah.
Just the smell's overwhelming.
Oh, I know. I was biking up, and I'm like, come on.
Seriously.
Well, I'm gonna sit here and try to finish one of these things before I catch the ferry. Well, I think I may have figured it out. I think I may have figured out Stehekin. There's something special here. There's some delightful woo-woo going on, specifically right back there, that just sort of grabs you in a really nice way. It doesn't grab you like this, but just kind of like grabs you like this. Just kind of holds on to you. And it is a special spot, really pretty. Kind of feels a whole lot like Pole Bridge. If you guys have been there over in Glacier National Park, where you just kind of want to stay. Just kind of want to stay, see what happens. Don't really have a whole lot of cares in the world. You just kind of want to be there. But it's pretty nice. Highly recommend checking it out someday.